rassurer, mais après ça, je dois dire, je suis pas content du niveau de seriousness que Denis a approché la matérielle, que souvent dans les films ou les adaptations sci-fi, on essaie d'ajouter tellement d'éléments et tellement de trucs qui sont intéressants, et là j'avais l'impression que Denis voulait l'opposé, que l'environnement était vrai et qu'il voulait les personnages et their behavior d'être vrais aussi. Et par rapport à la scène de Comme Javard, c'était une prescription comme acteur de mettre la main dans une boîte où on se dit that's the most pain you've ever had in your life. Alors c'était des deux côtés, d'essayer de faire le rôle du côté réaliste, mais aussi de le mettre dans les mains de Denis et d'avoir la confiance que où il voulait que j'aille, de me mettre à fond, de not question it, et avoir toute la confiance qui...
Doing like a portrait of the 20th century, but I think it became more and more through time, like prediction of what will happen in the 21st. And sadly, the book is by far more relevant today about the blend of the danger of the blend between the cross mix between religion and politics, the danger of messianic figures, the impact of colonialism, as Javier pointed out, the problem with the environment. And I thought, as this book stayed with me through the years, but it just felt more and more and more through time, more and more relevant. And so I think that sadly, I wish it was not the case, but I think the movie it will speak to the world right now more than it would have done 40 years ago, I would say.
I didn't really get much time to shoot with these amazing people, some of which I got to meet today. And I was extremely, I guess you could say, intimidated, because obviously there's so many people here that I admire, and then the opportunity to work with Denis, I think he's an extraordinary filmmaker and has always been someone that I also admired. So stepping into that, I was like, I don't have much time, and there's so many people that I have to hopefully stand next to and do somewhat of a good job, you know, and it was intimidating and scary, but as soon as I got there, there was such a warmth and an embrace that I felt immediately comfortable and taken care of, and all I had to do was be guided, and Denis opened up and explained the world to me, and was able to do that in a short amount of time, and everybody was so welcoming, and it was a beautiful experience. I was only there for a few days, but I felt like I had been very quickly a part of a family. So yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for making it such a wonderful time, and I feel extremely grateful to just be a piece of this really gorgeous puzzle that is Dune, you know. So I'm very, very humbled, and it was a special time, but just trusted him.
I'll try to go quickly too, because I know we're going to get to some other questions, but simply put, this was the honor of a lifetime for me, and I like how Zendaya just put it, in some way I just had to be guided, even though it was a project size I hadn't been on before, and every person, every artist I'm fortunate enough to sit up here with right now, and maybe I should admit this, but I was able to lean on each one emotionally at some point over the course of these 4 or 5 month shoot. These are all actors I've seen in projects that I admire. That's not actors blowing smoke. That's really, like, if we had more time, I can have a longer conversation about it. And now I'm proud to call these, you know, my sisters and brothers. If that's with everyone up here. I hope we get to do a second one. That'd be a dream. And yet, in some way, I'm simply grateful for the experience of doing this. And Josh Brolin said it beautifully this morning in a different interview. The process of making the thing is different than the putting it out. So there's 3 versions of the movie. There's a movie you read, there's a movie you make, and there's the movie they edit. And now there's the movie we're putting out there, so hopefully people go see it.
So, you know, and the fact that he's knowingly marching towards his demise, and knows that, and that's from the book too. I mean, from the second people start talking about him, they're saying, you know, he's not gonna make it. and yet there is still this tension about what he's going to do and if he's going to continue. And you know, not to get too highfalutin about it, but it's very similar to, we all know that we're going to die, yet we still have to continue and make choices. And so I think, as far as a figure for his son, trying to bring some sense of humanity and nobility not in the blue blood kind of way, but nobility in terms of seeking a higher level of consciousness and a higher way of leading a nation and leading a people, especially coming into this place. Like, how do you inherit all of this ugliness and all of this evil and all these machinations that are out of your control, and try to move towards a more noble state of being? I think that's the big thing that he's trying to give to his son, that has been prophesied to be some messiah or something. As far as he's concerned, as long as you can hold on to that humanity, the higher idea of humanity, you'll be okay. And it's an interesting dynamic between the two of them. That was something we had to talk a lot between Rebecca and I, about how much do they know about what each parent is doing? How much does he know about all of this, you know, manipulations over the centuries and what this means? You know, it starts with this thing that she was supposed to have a daughter, and she gave me a son instead. You know, she broke the rules out of some sense of love. Is it because it was a sense of love, or is it because she already knew it was time for this Messiah to show up? So it's amazing, because the more questions you ask, the deeper and deeper and deeper it goes.
An emotional one as well, that balance of being a mother, but also having such a strong belief in something greater than just being a mother. And one isn't better or doesn't sort of outsmart the other, but you know, she comes from this sisterhood, Bene Gesserit, who are there to manipulate the outcome of the universe, basically. And then conflicted with this passion and love for her belief. And also, I believe, we spoke a lot about true love, what happens when you fall in love, and the request of creating a son versus my chores. Which one do you go for? You know, it's a constant struggle. And you say mind, I mean, this is her entire identity. It's the mind struggle, but the emotional protection of children, of your child, of your loved ones, and knowing what is right. It's finding those lovely balances. Thankfully, I had a director helping me from one emotion to the other. I was quite confused sometimes. But yeah.
To speak to Denis,